What's up? What's up, y'all? Hey, first of all, I want to say I'm live streaming and also recording at the same time. So I just want to say I'm live streaming and recording at the same time. This is another guy I'm talking about. God been exposing these false preachers. This another clown. His name is Bishop Lamar. He's another clown from New York City claiming to be he claiming to be a preacher, and he was a man of God, and he got arrested, and now he's doing prison time for 9 years. He's in prison for 9 years. He's another clown. Let's get to it, y'all. This ain't my video. This is just me reacting to it. This educational purpose only, y'all. Subscribe, share, like. Not my video. Y'all can go subscribe to her channel. This is her channel right here. Not the good girl. That's her channel. Y'all go subscribe to her. Subscribe to this beautiful, pretty young. I guess she's young or old. I don't know what she is, but subscribe to this beautiful young, beautiful woman. But yeah, back to my channel.
Y'all think I want to be a preacher? You think
not back to my channel. Back to this.
I don't get paid from preaching. Y'all think I want? No, I have to follow my calling.
So he said God chose me to be a preacher. God chose me to be a preacher.
Let me tell y'all something of who Bishop Whitehead is, right? Let me tell you who Bishop Whitehead is. Bishop Whitehead is going to say it like he want to say it, and I'm going to tell it like it is, because I ain't scared of none of y'all.
He dresses in designer suits, drives a Rolls Royce, and preaches regularly to his 1.5 million Instagram followers while referring to himself in third person. But he's not a wealthy businessman or influencer. In his own words, Bishop Whitehead is the GOAT when it comes to faith and ministry. Behind the rags to riches story he would have his followers believe is a skilled con man with a dark past. A past that includes using love to steal what police believed was millions of dollars, landing him in federal prison. But the bishop didn't leave prison a reformed man. His cons are still going on today, including on the most vulnerable of his congregation.
Confrontation during a Sunday sermon in Brooklyn landed two people behind bars, including a bishop who argues he was protecting his family.
Remember, he was also robbed too. That's how people got to know who he was when he got robbed. Don't know why he got robbed, but he allegedly got robbed. There's a video of him getting robbed. They were pointing guns at him. They were pointing a gun at him, and he had to get down, and so on and so on. So there's video of him getting robbed.
This is the story of the scandalous life of the Brooklyn bishop, Lamar Whitehead. Before we begin, a quick note about the sponsor of this video, Care Of. Care Of is a subscription service support. Lamar Whitehead was born in 1978 to a loving mother and father. But tragedy struck Lamar's life when he was only 6 weeks old, when his father was killed in a violent police altercation during a routine traffic stop. After that, Lamar and his siblings were raised by their mother. Despite the adversity, Lamar excelled at school and was a gifted athlete. When he graduated high school, he was offered scholarships to Shaw University, Farmingdale University, and Eastern New Mexico University. Eventually, Eastern New Mexico won out and Lamar enrolled on accounting and videography courses. After returning to New York, Lamar opened his own business as a mortgage broker. It was around this time he claimed he felt an awakening to his true purpose. That purpose was ministry, and he enrolled in further studies at the New York Theological Seminary. He completed a...
Remember, he went to prison already, I believe, for the same thing. So when he came back out again, I guess he figured out he was going to change up the road now. He was going to do something else.
Certificate in Ministry and Human Services from the Theological Institution of Rising Hope, Inc., an accredited institution. After finishing his studies, he became a licensed New York State chaplain and a certified marriage and funeral officiant. So far, Lamore's story sounds like that of an intelligent man who felt called to serve a higher purpose. He had overcome the trials of his childhood and the challenges of the community where he was raised, and he wanted to inspire those who were struggling and show them a path to redemption through his God. But behind the facade, Lamar was using his talents for something much more sinister. In 2005, a woman in the New York County of Suffolk reported that her name had been fraudulently used to buy a motorcycle. It only took a couple of days for police to spot the motorcycle, and when they pulled it over, the driver identified himself as Lamar Whitehead. When investigators looked a little closer at Lamar and the apparent identity theft of the woman, they were able to connect the events to a string of other similar cases. Starting in 2004, officers in the same New York County of Suffolk had received complaints from multiple residents who claimed their identities had been stolen. All of the reports had one thing in common. The stolen identities had been used to secure financing for the purchase of vehicles, many of them Range Rovers and motorbikes. As the number of victims began to grow, the police department determined there was more than one person involved. So they established a theft investigation unit in the hopes of tracking down the perpetrators. While it wasn't always the same person who used the stolen identity, the investigation revealed that one lead person was behind the scheme, Lamar Whitehead. This is how the scheme went down. During the years the identity theft was taking place, Lamar was dating a woman who worked at a Long Island car dealership. Part of her job was running credit reports on customers who needed financing in order to buy a vehicle. To do so, she had access to almost all of the customers' personal information, including their social security numbers, bank accounts.
That's dangerous, man. I mean, back in the day, it had to be dangerous. There's a movie about that too. I forgot. There's a movie like that. There's a movie. It's based on a real story where this lady was able to steal this. She was able to take this lady information because the lady came in, give an application for a loan. And the woman who worked there was able to take the application, take the information, take everything of this lady, and was able to steal her identity, and was able to buy a house under her name, buy clothes under her name. There was so much stuff. This was like maybe this is a true movie, but this is a very old movie, like a 2000, maybe like back like maybe a 1999, whatever movie it is. I forgot the name of it, but it was based on a true story. And this is why it'd be scared sometimes to give. I'd be scared sometimes to give my social, my credit card to people. It's just I'd be scared, bro. I do it anyway, but I'm telling you, bro, I'd be scared, bro. I'd be like, damn, I'd be scared. Sometimes I even gotta ask them, like, why do you need all that information? You know. Because I just be scared, and you can't trust people these days.
Credit history, and home addresses. Lamar's girlfriend kept the login details for her work computer sitting on her desk at home. And while showering her with compliments, gifts, and nice dinners, Lamar was secretly using her login info to access the customer's personal information and take out loans and lines of credit in their names. Lamar used the loans to buy nice cars and motorbikes, as well as to deck himself out in designer threads and jewelry. Overnight.
And these people who be stealing these niggas are so stupid and dumb, bro. I'm so sorry, I don't mean to say this, but these people are stupid and dumb. They'll steal it, right? They'll steal your identity, and rather than saying, let me buy a house, let me start a business, they'll start buying things, stuff that don't mean nothing. They don't mean a value once it come out the store. These people are stupid, bro. And it like, yo, you buying these Gucci glasses, all these dumb stuff that your punk, that your poor ass couldn't get. I'm so sorry, Lord, that you couldn't get, and out of nowhere now you couldn't, like, bro, you're stealing people's identity, you're stealing their money. Rather than saying, let me start a business, let me buy a business, something. You're buying clothes. You're buying cars. Not saying that if you steal somebody, then you should be able to start a business or whatever like that. It is still bad, but still, these are the things that you're buying. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Lamar had gone from a humble, Brooklyn-born and raised chaplain to a high roller who splurged on gifts and gadgets. He put his wealth down to his success as a mortgage broker, but identity theft wasn't the only scam Lamar was running. He was still working as a mortgage broker when he realized that not only did he have access to easy targets through his girlfriend, he was sitting on a goldmine of personal information himself. His job meant that he had access to the same information about each of his clients as well. He knew exactly what they were worth, and he knew exactly how much more they could borrow. Armed with this knowledge, Lamar reached out to one of the clients he previously helped secure a mortgage for and made him a proposal, telling him, quote, "You give me $200,000 and I will give you back $225,000 in 30 days. It sounded like easy money, and the client had already in $30,000 and made him a proposal, telling him, quote, "You give me $200,000 and I will give you back $225,000 in 30 days.
So you're gonna give me back. I'll give you back $200,000. You're gonna only give me back what? $225,000? That doesn't make any sense. So I give you $200. So whether you give me, I don't know, $1 million back, or $400 or $500 or $600 or $700 back, you're gonna give me back just what? $25,000 more? In a way, 200. So I give you $200, $200,000. You're gonna give me back $225,000. It's like me getting somebody $200 and they say, "I'll give you back $225." How's that a win? It's not a win. What in the world? That's not a win.
30 days. It sounded like easy money, and the client had already been impressed by Lamar when they worked on the mortgage deal. He trusted him. So the client agreed to the arrangement and took out a $200,000 loan against the home he had just purchased. He didn't tell his family about the arrangement as he wanted to surprise them with a special gift when the $25,000 came through. It will come as no surprise that 30 days came and went without the original loan or the agreed interest being paid. One day in 2006, 26-year-old Lamar was driving a stolen Land Rover down Riverside Drive in Manhattan when police lights appeared in his rearview mirror. After pulling over, he was quickly surrounded by officers, many who made up the theft investigation unit established 1 year prior, and he was arrested on multiple charges of identity theft. Suffolk Detective Sergeant Stephen Jensen described Lamar's outfit at the time as a pimp-style red and white mink coat. After the arrest, police searched Lamar's $500,000 home. Officers found multiple laptops, cell phones, a stolen weapon, and a bulletproof vest, all of which they believed were tools Lamar used to carry out his crimes.
Again, this was back 2006. He just got arrested again. He just went to prison 9 years. He's doing 9 years right now. So again, this was back in 2006. So this is him back in 2006.
He was subsequently charged with illegal possession of a firearm. But the identity theft and firearms charges were merely a speed bump on Lamar's road to riches. Despite the indictment, Lamar was released on $90,000 bail and set free to do as he pleased. And it pleased him to keep on scheming. That was until 2008 when he was finally taken into custody to stand trial. By then, he had been charged with 10 counts of identity fraud relating to more than $500,000 worth of loans. Ultimately, Lamar was convicted on 17 counts of identity theft and sentenced to 10 to 30 years in prison. As other victims came forward, the prosecutor in the case later stated they believed Lamar's fraud could total more than $2 million. But after spending less than 6 years behind bars and being described as an ideal inmate, Lamar Whitehead was released from prison in 2013, and the bishop was just getting started. I have a calling, and I had to do what I had to do. As soon as I came home, it was on. These were the words of the bishop who was newly released from prison and promising redemption. Only weeks after leaving prison, Lamar set up his own church called the Leaders of Tomorrow Ministries. His congregation started with 43 worshipers who came to his home to hear his inspiring sermons about rising up from where you came from and achieving financial success through God's power. Lamar's form
Boy, these scammers, they know how to talk, but I ain't gonna lie. They know how to preach. They know how to preach your boots off, but they know how to take your. Some most of these scammers, they'll tell you, man, work hard, do all of this, do all that, and they just damn near just they got your hand, they got the hand, they got the hands in your pocket, and then they telling you to work hard and do good, and while they stealing from you little by little.
of preaching has been referred to as the prosperity gospel, which emphasizes the material benefits one can achieve through a relationship with God. Whereas other forms of Christianity preach humility and giving what you have to help others, Lamar preached about proudly demonstrating your affluence as a means to attract others to God. In this one aspect, Lamar practiced what he preached. He would stand at the front of his congregation wearing tailored designer suits with chains of gold and diamonds hanging.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If I go to church and I see a guy like this, I'm not gonna take you serious. I cannot take you serious, bro. You're dressed like a pimp. I cannot take you serious. You're dressed better than I am. I'm not gonna feel comfortable giving you any money. You dressed better than I am, bro. So in my eyes, I'm gonna be looking at, man, you're probably taking my money to buy these clothes, bro. He's a clown, man.
Hanging from his neck. He had a garage full of various high-powered luxury and sports cars. So where did the money come from? Lamar got it exactly where any self-respecting designer-wearing prophet would get it: his congregation.
And this woman right here, this is supposedly allegedly his wife. This right here is supposedly allegedly his wife.
Well, some of it. At the end of each sermon, Lamar would hold up a stack of empty envelopes and invite his followers to bid on an envelope to the value they wanted to sow. He told them that the more they sowed, the more they would reap in return. Whether it was $50, $500, or $5,000, there seemed to be no shortage of people willing to donate to his fund. But even if every one of the 43 members in his church gave him an envelope full of cash, his clothing and lifestyle far exceeded the amount he was being given. One Gucci or Louis Vuitton suit with matching shoes can easily cost $10,000, and that doesn't account for the jewelry or the cars. So where did he earn the rest of the cash to fund his lifestyle? In early 2020, 56-year-old Pauline Anderson had the misfortune to cross paths with Bishop Lamar Whitehead. When she attended one of Lamar's sermons, she saw a well-dressed, wealthy pastor tell the congregation how they could and should get rich through God and him. 4 months after joining the church, Pauline underwent a major surgery and received a get-well-soon phone call from the pastor. Just a few months later, Pauline received another call from the man, and this time he wanted to talk about money. Pauline had always wanted to buy herself a home for her and her family, but her credit had always wanted to buy herself.
I just want to say this is not Pauline. This is his wife. It's not Pauline right here. This is his wife.
He wanted to talk about money. Pauline had always wanted to buy herself a home for her and her family, but her credit score had taken some hits over the years, and she was turned down by every lender she approached. Despite having a deposit saved, she was never able to secure a loan. Enter her savior, Lamar Whitehead. Lamar told her about his experience with mortgage broking and offered her a solution to her credit problem. In exchange for her deposit, he would buy a home in her name through his company, Lamar Whitehead, Inc. Lamar assured Pauline that her deposit would cover the house and any repairs it needed, and would also leave a little bit left over, which he would return to her with some interest. Pauline had no job after having surgery, and the deposit was everything she had to her name, including her retirement fund. Although Lamar had helped her son buy a home, she was still cautious of doing business with the bishop. To put her worries to rest, Lamar offered her a $100 monthly stipend, which he would pay until she moved into her new home. That promise did the trick, and on the 30th of November 2020, Pauline wrote a check to Lamar's business for $90,000. For 6 months, Pauline never received a single $100 monthly stipend and heard nothing about her new home despite constantly contacting Lamar for an update. Every time she did manage to get through to him, he would tell her he was too busy with his campaign running for Brooklyn Borough President. By mid-2021, Pauline suspected that there was never going to be any house. But she knew for sure this was the case when her son received an interesting email from Lamar. Pauline had been introduced to Lamar by her son Rashid. Rashid had supported his mom in investing in Lamar's company, but when he realized Pauline was being scammed, he was the one who attempted to convince Lamar to give the money back. Rashid repeatedly texted and emailed Lamar until one day he got a reply, but it wasn't the reply he expected. Lamar had accidentally sent an email regarding a down payment on a $4.5 million home in Saddle River to Rashid. The email outlined some details about the down payment on the home. The amount discussed would have been more than enough to repay his mother's investment. But when he told Lamar about the email and demanded that he return Pauline's money, he received a text from Lamar that said, quote, "I'm in awe of how the devil is using you. However, I knew it was coming. Now beware of the hand of judgment will hit your life and everything that's connected to you. And for the record, anything that was given to me is a donation unless it's attached to a contract. I was making investments. That's what I do." In 2021, a federal lawsuit was filed against Lamar Whitehead for his part in fleecing Pauline of her life savings. But it wasn't only Pauline that he had taken advantage of. The lawsuit also indicted Lamar on charges.
How do people like this sleep at nighttime, bro? Like, how do you sleep at nighttime knowing that you're stealing from people? You're stealing they last investment, they last type of resource to fund themselves, to take care of themselves. How do you sleep at night, bro? How do you sleep at night knowing that you're stealing from an elderly person? You just robbed an elderly person whole saving. Like, how do you sleep at night, bro? I mean, I'm not no good person, bro, and I'm not judging anybody because I live in South Florida all my life, and scamming is something that's popular out there. It's popular, man. I know a couple people. I know a couple who have been. I know a couple who have got in, who are doing it, and have got into it. You know, and I ain't judging nobody. Nobody hustle. But if your hustle if your hustle stealing from other people, then it's not a hustle. It's not a hustle, bro. And it's whether you gonna stop or it's gonna come. It's coming to get you, bro. And you probably been doing it for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You still ain't get caught. That's what's up. It's good. It's good. Like I said before, like I heard somebody say before, God gave chances to people to repent, to turn away. Not that God is not watching it. God is watching it. He just giving this person time to repent. But when God finally removes his hand off that person, everything that this person thought he worked for, everything this person thought that everything was okay, it's gonna come. Everything he worked for, everything that he built up is gonna crumble. It's gonna be taken away. But right now, if you're not getting caught, it's not that God has turned his head on, but God is not watching it. No, it's not that. He's giving you a chance to repent. Give you a chance to repent. So if you're scamming or you're doing anything, scamming, cheating, whatever you're doing, because you ain't getting caught, it doesn't mean that God is not watching. He's giving you a chance to repent. He's giving you a chance to get it right. Fix it up. So fix it up and get it right. Before it's too late.
Charges of using force to try and
I can speak like that because I ain't no clean person myself. That's all I'm saying.
get a businessman to pay him $5,000. Lamar also attempted to get the same businessman to lend him $500,000 and give him a stake in high-end real estate transactions. When Lamar was asked for a statement about the lawsuit, he claimed that Pauline and Rashid were only going after him because of his celebrity status, saying, quote, "Everybody that tried to sue me because of my celebrity status is just going to keep going in and trying to do what they do." Lamar reiterated that he invested her money as agreed and that there was never an agreement to buy her a home. But we aren't at the strangest part of the story yet. Call it karma, divine intervention, or just bad luck. But Pauline's lawsuit may never have made it into headlines if it wasn't for the day that Bishop Whitehead was robbed while in the middle of preaching a sermon.
That's how people got to know who he was. That's how I got to know who he was. He got robbed, and it was on One Star Hip Hop. He blew up after that. He blew up, and people started looking like he just couldn't keep himself down on the radar. If he would have just kept himself down on the radar and he wasn't talking a lot of crap, wasn't getting on YouTube or Facebook and talking junk, maybe he would still been out there. Maybe he would have still been out there. Maybe. But he just kept hyping himself up. He was showing his cars. He was showing how fancy he looked. He was showing all these things. He was saying how he got all this off preaching and how he got condos and all that. People gonna be doing research, bro. And that's how his stupid ass got caught. I don't mean to be cussing, bro, but this stuff pissed me off when you use God and you say God is the one that's. Listen, man, there's people that saying, we know people that say, man, God just blessed me. They know that they just robbed 100-year-old old man. They just robbed an elderly, and they saying God just blessed me. God didn't bless you for that, bro. You just robbed an elderly. You just robbed someone. God did not bless you. God cannot be part of evil. So God didn't bless you for that.
Lamar's history of shady dealings and the true source of his abundant wealth might never have been known if it hadn't been for the events of July 24th, 2022. On that day, Lamar rolled up to his service in a Rolls-Royce, one of his favorite vehicles. He stood in front of the congregation wearing a maroon velvet robe with gold cuffs, designer loafers, rings on most of his fingers, and a thick gold chain around his neck.
This guy's a freaking pimp. It's a freaking pimp. Gosh, Lee. Listen. I wouldn't be in this man's church. This nigga is dressed better than I am. He drive a better car than I will. I got a decent car, but he drive a better car than I. He drive a Rolls Royce. Everything he got on right now is probably damn they can pay my freaking house for about damn they can pay my bills for a good couple. I don't know, 6 months maybe. I would have a problem with that, bro. Coming to your church and you're dressed better than I am? Bro, where is you getting this money from? What other business do you have? I need to know. That's what I would ask him. Hey, damn, man. What do you do? What do you do outside of preaching? Because preaching doesn't get like you. When you start preaching, you don't really get money like that, bro. But I don't think preachers get like, yeah, you do get money time. I mean, it's nowadays they're getting a lot of money, but this guy's getting whole million.
His sermon was being live streamed, and he opened with the line, quote, "How many of you have lost your faith because you saw somebody else die?" Only moments later, the live stream showed 3 people dressed in black and holding weapons entering the church and demanding everyone hand over their valuables. The group moved through the congregation and removed jewelry from Lamar's wife, who was sitting in the front row holding their young child. Another person held their weapon to Lamar's head while they pulled each ring from every little finger and then took the diamond chain around his neck. The thieves left just as quickly as they...
Them Zoes weren't playing around. Them Zoes came and do their job and left, huh? Oh, man, these mother freakers. Those guys are funny. Look at this guy right here in the back. Oh my gosh. These guys.
They came. Lamar claims that they got away with more than $1 million worth of jewelry, including a Cuban chain link chain valued at $399,000 and a Rolex watch worth $75,000.
Bishop was robbed at gunpoint in the middle of his Sunday sermon today, and it was all caught on camera. The service was being live streamed this morning when he says 3 to 4 men walked in with guns. He spoke at length with CBS 2's Lisa Rosner about why he believes he was targeted and his message for the suspects.
5 to 10 minutes into preaching Sunday morning on Remsen Avenue in Canarsie, Bishop Lamar Whitehead saw the door in the back of the room kick open.
How many of you have lost your faith because you saw somebody else die what you about to go through? Yo.
It's funny how he said you about to go through. It's funny how he said that and out of nowhere they just came and robbed him. Right? God got a sense of humor, don't he? And not saying that God is the one that caused it. Evil happened. Not saying God is the reason that caused evil. But you know, when the doors open for the devil to walk in through, he gonna walk in through. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I seen 3 to 4 men come in. I said, all right. It's pretty much stating that I'm not going to do anything, right? Because I know y'all coming for me. Y'all coming straight to me. I don't want my parishioners hurt, right? I got women and children there. As I got down, one went to my wife and took all her jewelry and had the gun in front of my 8-month-old baby's face. Took off my bishop's ring, my wedding band, took off my...
Hey man, look at this guy right here. This guy here just sitting down like... This nigga here, he ain't done this before, or he knew this was gonna happen, because he just sitting there like, shoot, it is what it is. He just sitting there like, bro, like he's not fazed, he's not scared, he's not shocked. He just like this is normal to him. Like they need it. Who is this guy? This must be normal to him or something.
My bishop's ring, my wedding band, and took off my bishop's chain, and then I had chains underneath my robe, he started tapping my neck to see if anything else. So that means they knew, they watched and they knew that I have other jewelry.
The church's live stream.
Probably your friend over there that's sitting there all cool and quiet.
Shows the gun being held on the pastor.
They had the guns on my deacons that was at the door.
Whitehead says what you don't see on camera are around 100 congregants who were in the room. Men, women, and children dropped to the floor in silence.
My church is traumatized. The women and children are still crying. Still crying. Babies are still crying.
Police say the men took off in a white Mercedes. Whitehead says cops have a license plate and witnesses saw the men change clothes outside.
These men, they need to turn themselves in. I forgive you, and I'm praying for you. You know, and I hope that God...
Look at this guy. Look at him, bro. He just cooling it, bro. Like, this ain't no crime. He just chilling. Like, look, these people are getting robbed, bro. He's sitting down there like, this nigga's a gangster, bro. He's sitting there like, not shocked, not like, he just like he knew what's gonna happen or something.
Deliver you from the mindset of who you are.
The video of the robbery quickly went viral online and brought a whole new level of attention to the crooked bishop. Many people claimed that the theft was a setup by Lamar for media attention, or an insurance scam he ran to get a cash payout. The idea that Lamar was running another scheme was amplified when Lamar repeatedly reenacted the robbery during his live-streamed sermons for weeks after the event. He warned that other pastors were in danger and that they should always be armed when doing the Lord's work. Lamar told his followers and those watching online, quote, "The devil didn't want me back in this pulpit. God said you can't take his life. You can touch his material things, but you can't touch his soul. I'm a miracle. I'm not supposed to be here today. Everybody wants to talk about what the tabloids are talking about and forget about the miracle." End quote. The rumors of a setup or an insurance scheme fell apart once officials confirmed the robbery was legit. Ultimately, 2 men were arrested and charged. At the time of this recording, the 3rd suspect is still at large. After being vindicated of the robbery, Lamar filed 2 $20 million lawsuits against critics on social media who had previously claimed he was involved in the robbery. He later filed an additional suit, this time for $50 million against a radio DJ for similar comments. But the unintended consequence of that viral video was the spotlight that was put on the self-proclaimed Bling Bishop. Even with the charges against the robbers filed, no one could understand how a supposed man of God could be so self-assured in his displays of wealth when the people he was preaching.
This guy, I'm not gonna lie, this Bishop dude is such a. He's like, man, this guy's a clown. He should have just kept low. He should have kept low. Cause nobody know who he was until he got robbed, bro. So if he would have just still stayed low, still just didn't show out all these fancy cars, didn't show out all these fancy clothes he had on, he probably would have still been around.
Were from struggling neighborhoods. Lamar fills his Instagram with shots of his tailored designer suits, his cars, and jewelry collection, which is far removed from his disadvantaged parishioners. Lamar remained in the spotlight after another sermon went off script in September 2022. While Lamar was at the pulpit, 2 women entered the church in the middle of his sermon. They were in the back, but Lamar called them out for interrupting, and one of the women began yelling back and walking towards the front of the church. Lamar can be seen in the live stream of the service grabbing the woman by the back of her head and pushing her off camera while he yelled, "Grab her, grab her." The police were called, and when they arrived, they handcuffed Lamar in front of the congregation. He was told he would be charged with assault. However, after being taken to the police station, it was the woman who faced arrest. The woman, Tarsha Howard, was later charged with trespassing and disrupting a religious service. She claimed that she was there to research a book she was writing about the role of the church in the Black community when Lamar called her a wannabe blogger who just wanted to bring him down. With the woman's arrest, Lamar was vindicated once again, and just like every time prior, he used the attention to further paint himself as the victim, not the villain in his life.
You guys don't understand how this works. So he get robbed the first time, right? He got robbed. His status went up. Now he put his hand in his female. Like you can see that was I'm gonna call that abuse. That's an abuse. That's an assault. I'm gonna say, hold up, take it back. That's an assault. So he didn't go to jail for an assault. So again, it's like I'm just gonna say God. You know, I'm just gonna say God. Lord, if ain't you, forgive me. But I'm just gonna say God. Like God was just piling up his plate for him to boast up a little more, for him to feel like, yeah, I can't be touched until finally he can be touched.
Life story. He told the media, quote, "They lock me up in front of my children, in front of my wife, in front of my church. They publicly embarrassed me and then dropped all the charges after 2 hours and apologized to me. All I want to do is preach the word of God, and I end up in prison," he said. "They treated me like a criminal. They had me in a cell with someone with felony charges and let me out. It's not going to stop here. If I was a rabbi, if I was a Catholic priest, they would have never done this," end quote.
Confrontation during a Sunday sermon in Brooklyn landed 2 people behind bars, including a bishop who argues he was protecting his family.
CBS 2's Jenna D'Angelo spoke with both people involved and has the video from Canarsie.
We're going to pause right here.
During a live stream Sunday service at Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, Bishop Lamar Miller Whitehead appears to get disrupted.
You want to come preach? You want to come preach? You want to come preach? Come on up here. Come on up here.
The bishop says it all started when 2 women came into the church mid-sermon.
One of my ministers told them that you cannot record. You can't record. And they began to make a scene.
Police say when a woman was asked to stop recording and leave, she began to antagonize the bishop and approach him on stage.
They take pictures and they want to be on social media. Take the pictures. Take the pictures.
As she walks past Bishop Whitehead, he appears to grab her from behind, and they move off camera.
Seen her walk in front of me, going at my wife and my daughter, and I grabbed her.
He says he was worried about his family and thinking back to the moment in July when he was robbed at gunpoint during a sermon streamed live online.
That's the only thing that I can remember. This lady had a bag under her arm, and she was going after my wife.
The woman in the video, 47-year-old Tarsha Howard, was arrested and charged with trespass and disrupting a religious service. She showed us her injury and made a brief statement.
I am telling you right now that I did not charge after his wife. It's on video, and everyone can see that I was the one that was assaulted. And after this statement, he will hear from my attorney.
The bishop was also taken into custody, but shortly after released, now criticizing the NYPD's handling of the incident.
I was treated like a criminal, so I went from the pulpit to the cell for no reason. The New York Police Department failed me and failed my church.
The video and subsequent media coverage of Lamar reignited the question, where did he get all the money in the first place? When reporters picked up the story after the viral video of the robbery and the potential assault charges, they attempted to get a...
That's the reason why he even got in. That's the reason people started noticing him. That's the reason. Listen, this clown would have still been out there if he... Listen to you dumbass scammers. Listen, you don't want people to know... If you out there driving a Mercedes, you know you don't have a job... That could if you out there driving a Benz or a Mercedes and you don't have a job, you don't have a 9-to-5 job, people are gonna start asking questions, dumbass. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cuss, but this is pissing me off. If you're gonna be doing scamming and you're driving Mercedes, Benz, you're driving a Charger, you're driving whatever you're driving, big expensive cars that probably I don't know, $12 an hour job you probably can't afford. If you by yourself, if you're driving those type of cars, people are gonna start asking questions like, "Yo, where do you work at?" You understand? So you got this guy here. He's wearing these Versace's. He's wearing all these things, driving these nice cars. But you're a preacher. People are gonna ask questions like, "Yo, how do you? Are you taking the money and buying clothes with that? If you're doing that, that's not right. That's not right. So you're taking the hardworking people's money and you're buying clothes with that. That's a problem. That's not right. Or are you doing something else illegal that the government doesn't know about? These are the type of questions people are gonna ask. So if you are a scammer, I would advise you to stop scamming. Use your head. Be a little smarter in what you're doing. And I'm not trying to give anybody any way to do bad stuff. But I'm just saying. One thing I will say is quit. But these motherfuckers are stupid. They dumb. These people, they'll do scamming. Like I said, they'll do scamming. But they'll drive charge. They'll drive these expensive cars. But they have no job. They have no business under their name. They have nothing. But they're driving these luxurious car and wearing these luxurious clothes. But doesn't have any job. Doesn't have any businesses. That's gonna be a red flag to someone. Common sense, people.
Statement from Lamar. They tracked him down to a 9,000 square foot mansion in New Jersey, complete with 6 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms, plenty of room for his wife and 3 kids. But when they showed up, they found an eviction notice taped to the front door. It appeared that Lamar had defaulted on his mortgage as well as his car payments, and he had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of court judgments against him with no sign of the lawsuits ending. Remember the client who loaned Lamar $200,000, which he had borrowed against his own home? He filed a lawsuit against Lamar to get his money back. A court judgment ordered Lamar to repay the man a total of $261,000. There was also a lawsuit filed against him from the developers of a $1.6 million house he had defaulted on in New Jersey. It turns out Lamar had used his powers of persuasion to convince the developers that they should issue him a short-term loan of $126,000, and he would pay them back with a business check for $164,000. But the check bounced, and their efforts to collect the original loan amount were met with radio silence. So the developers filed a lawsuit in an effort to recoup some of the debt from Lamar. In that judgment, the developers were awarded $335,000. Then, in 2019, Lamar stopped making payments on his Mercedes-Benz and Range Rover. The company filed a lawsuit that ended with a $68,000 judgment.
Well, when the devil bless you, boy, it's not really a blessing, man. Look at all this stuff that he was doing. Now he got to pay all these people back. He got to pay all these people back. So now every time, he probably in prison working for 10 cents a week or 10 cents a day, and he have to pay everybody back. It's gonna take forever. But he have to pay everybody back. Everybody back. He have to pay everybody back.
Against Lamar. And if that wasn't enough, in 2021, Lamar unsuccessfully ran for Brooklyn Borough President. He came last in the race with just 4,000 votes. But one of the staffers who worked for him on his campaign claimed that he had loaned $56,000 of his own money to Lamar, which has never been repaid. That staffer has since filed a lawsuit seeking repayment of the money. At the time of this recording, all the amounts I just read that were ordered by a judge against Lamar remain outstanding. As for Lamar's narrative on his history, he has never really addressed the charges or allegations or lawsuits against him except through his lawyer, who just repeats that Lamar will be vigorously defending the allegations and that Lamar feels he is being targeted and turned into a villain from a victim. But if you read Lamar's bio on his church website, you'll hear an entirely different version of events than those corroborated by court documents. Lamar claims that the initial arrest for fraud was illegal. It wasn't. He claims that he was released from prison after 6 years because his conviction was overturned. It wasn't. And that the source of his income is real estate investing and pastoring. That remains questionable. Lamar also claims to have close relationships with prominent businessmen, lawyers, politicians, and judges whom he claims seek out his advice as well as his endorsement during their election processes. He also considers the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, a personal
He's in trouble too, Big Ed. He's in trouble too.
Interestingly, the mayor has distanced himself from Lamar after being told about Lamar's checkered past, and when questioned by the media, called Lamar a previous mentee of his. In December of 2022, Lamar was released on a $500,000 bond while he awaits trial for the federal fraud charges brought against him. At the time of this recording, he cannot travel out of the tri-state area, but he does continue to preach, mainly virtually from the comfort of his mansion. He still has his designer suits and limited jewelry collection to keep him company, for now. His court date has been set for April 11th of 2023. There is one thing that upsets Lamar though. He claims that he should have received more media coverage for the robbery, stating, quote, "I represent that with Jesus, you can go through the storm. I think I should get the front page. You don't think I should get it?
These people are funny, man. They'll use Jesus in a way to say, yeah, Jesus. He's using Jesus to get himself praise. He can't get Jesus to praise because he's doing horrible stuff. But he's using Jesus in a way to get the praise, saying I should get more attention. And he'll say because Jesus saved me. That's what he's doing.
I think I was the face of the year," end quote. This has been the story of the scandalous Brooklyn bishop and conman, Lamar Whitehead.
And Lamar Whitehead is now facing, let me see, Lamar Whitehead is now facing, let me see, let's find what he's facing. Lamar. trying to. Let me see. Lamar Miller Whitehead is also known as Pastor Bling Bling, born April 30, 1970, is an American Protestant pastor. I hope I'm saying that word right. Protestant pastor, scammer, and convicted felon, known also for his close relationship with New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who also is on the news for some bad stuff. In his astonishing display of wealth, in 2022, the high-profile pastor was robbed during a live stream service in Brooklyn. He was convicted of fraud in May 24 and is currently in New York. Is currently jailed in New York on June 18, 24. He was sentenced to 9 years for fraud. He is in prison for fraud. 9 years. Who is this woman? I think this is his wife right here. Let me see. This is his wife. I wonder what's going on with her wife. I wonder if his wife is still with him. How she's surviving. Do she even have a job? She can't be pastoring because nobody want to hear that crap. He ain't gonna be robbing other people. So what is she doing now? That's what. Let me see. What is she doing? But AI taking over, y'all. Find out what Asia Dorsey Whitehead is currently doing. Consider these points. Asia is actively involved in her professional career, focusing on her current projects. She may participate in community intensive or advocacy work. Asia could be pursuing further education or training in fields. She might be engaging with her audience through social media or public speaking. Blase. I don't know what she doing, but I don't know, bro. I don't know what she doing, but it's time for me to get out of here, though. Gosh, she's about to be 12. I was trying to go live, man. Hey, y'all follow me. Like I said again, follow me and Get Right 777. This is Twitch, so follow me on Twitch, y'all. I got a Twitch, so follow me there. But yeah, right now I am fun to go to the crib. Well, I'm finna go to the crib. I'm already in the crib. I'm finna go to sleep. Gotta wake up. So I'm finna go to sleep, man. I'm gonna drop these videos tomorrow, God willing. I'm drop both of these two videos tomorrow. But I'm finna go to sleep, man. See y'all tomorrow, God willing. Hopefully I'll be back and react to certain new videos that's out there. And yeah. But thank you. Follow, subscribe, share. God love, God bless y'all.